Hey guys, today I'll be talking about lucidity, which is a code base of basically utilities that enable better reuse of source code and tests, and it provides, I guess, introspection um, to to make code better to play with. Um, so I'll start off with an example. Brian has just recently come out with a new library called Tracks, which is pretty cool. So you just define um, an example of what you want to swap, and it'll just create a function that would swap the inputs. So this is kind of what he's done. So it's nice. And I'm gonna see if I can use my tools to make this a better experience. Um, Now, I've already started the REPL in Tracks, and you can see here that uh, the folder currently looks like this. There's one file, tracks.core. It's got a couple of functions in there, the main function being track. Um, I I moved. It used to be test core tracks core.test, but I just moved it into a generative function because um, there are some special um, conventions that I'm using to be able to hook in my tests into the source code. So these functions are in the lucid.unit library. Um, Now they're they're kind of pre-installed into REPL because I've I have my line profiles.clj and I put in a bunch of things, and I'm going to talk about the lucid.unit and also lucid.publish, and you can see sort of the functionalities that they provide. Now, lucid.unit is sort of like it uses the unit tests in a different way. So we can start by looking at the scaffold function. So I'm going to go to core. Right now you can see that there is not much, and I like to do my development in REPL. So what I tend to do is I just have a comment block, and say for example I don't know what this keys into does, so let's just experiment. Keys into, we have A, B, it takes a map, that's all I know. Let's connect it up to the REPL. Yes. Okay, so now, okay, good. So keys into, let's do another example. Keys into, okay. So we can kind of see how it works. Now, I'm going to generate the scaffold, and again, this is, I can call this because of my line CLJ. So I've just inserted a bunch of things into a namespace called dot. So yeah, if I just run this, you can see here that it lists out the functions that have been exported. And if we then go back to core, you can see here that a new file has been generated, core test. So now let's see, breaks down the map into or something like that. And we can also call test. Yes. So we can then copy these two functions in here. And we've got our test suite. So yeah, this works. Now what I like to do is I don't really like to think too much about doing docstrings. So for example, this is actually a really nice description of what keysinto does. So for me to then go in here, write a docstring, breaks down, it's just too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call import. Now it might not update here, but it will update here, and you can see that keysinto, all of them gets like a little to do. So we'll save it. Doesn't matter. Let's save it. Let's import. Let's import again, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so now we have the docstring from our tests, and so we can do it for every single one of these guys. So msheller, I don't know what it does. Don't know. So now track. I think I got what track did. So for example, if I did A1, B2, B1, A2, this will give me a function, okay, that if I call on A 1000, B 2000, it will give me B 1000, A 2000, okay. So takes to templated inputs and generates a function. Okay, so let's save it and do this import thing again. And bang, we have our docstring, also with some metadata as well. So that's how import works. What's the next one? Purge. Purge. So sometimes I just really like that there's a lot of docstrings. I really just want to get rid of them. I can run purge, and purge would get rid of them. Let's try it again. Save anyway, yes. Okay, so now it's gone. And what else can I do? So say for example, I deleted some tests here. And I think this is okay. This is my test suite. But what missing will do is to say, okay, so in tracks core there are 1, 2, 3, 4 functions that are missing tests. So if I run scaffold again, it will actually regenerate these tests. So I'll delete them because I don't want them. But yeah, so if I go scaffold, the test regenerate, I save it, and then I press missing. So you can see here that there are no tests missing. And then I can do a rearrange. No such rearrange. Did I not import it? Hang on a second. Arrange, okay. Okay, so there's no rearrange, arrange. What this will do is to rearrange the tests in order of source code. So keys into shallow, and again, let me just move these things around, save it. If I put arrange, it will kind of refit the tests back together. So yeah, it's a nice simple way of making sure that my tests are in order. And also, if I have a test that I just have out there that doesn't actually test anything, then I can, the next function is orphaned, which will say, in my test file there's a track EO that is missing a function definition somewhere, which is nice, because then our tests and our source code are linked in a nicer way. Yeah, so that's the first thing. So this is lucid.unit. Let me talk a little bit about lucid.publish. What I can do now is to just go publish. And you can see here that in tracks there's a new directory out and there's a new file here. And if I open it up, okay, so it looks something like this. It needs a little bit of coloring. So I'm going to copy my assets over. And then you can see that it looks a little bit different. Now, this is a very simple way of generating a document from a file. So the actual specification of how a file should be looks like this. So for example, let me just copy this over, and maybe I'll create another file, example.clj, tracks.example. Okay, and let's just publish it. And we can see here again that there is one more file. It says hello world. And this is entirely generated from the file here. So what we can do is we can either take the site from the title, or we can edit our project.clj. Yes. And add in a publish key. And let's have our template. So we need the author. Let's put in Ryan, mass, email, I don't know, 123.com. So we can we can pop in the URL here. What else? What else is missing? So the site name. The site name should be tracks. Yeah, that will do for now. And okay, now what we can also do is to say files. I can define the input. So this input files. Oh yeah, so we'll make an index page where the input is test slash track slash example.clj. The title is tracks is awesome. Subtitle, actually, this library is awesome. We'll call it just tracks. Okay, let's publish it. So we'll go to example again, and we'll get rid of this because the input is coming from this file. And we go publish index, and let's see what happens. Nothing. Oh yeah, that's right, because it's on the index file. So yeah, so tracks.tracks. This library is awesome. You know, you have author. Like again, this template is completely customizable because you see here, template, you can just go sick. So we don't need the site name. We don't need the site name here. I don't know if you wanted to switch these two around, you can. Repository author, so let's publish it. And you can see here that it's slightly apart. So why don't we actually just start copying? Well, hang on. I'll go into the README and just copy markup because I'm just that lazy. Converging tracks. Okay, so let's go from here. By example. Okay, we can do the following. So let's go chapter, introduction, usage. We can do better than that. We can make this a subsection. Pull it out. Section. Usage. We can do the following tracks. And what I want to do is to create a fact. So we can do that. Fact. Def swap AB tracks. Let's see if this works first. Okay, so we'll have to just require tracks.core referral. No, that didn't work. Okay, it should work. What happened? referral. Okay. Tracks.core. Oh, and it's track. Okay, so maybe he first started off calling it tracks and then he called it track. I don't know. Anyway, so let's define swap A and B as track. Swap A and B. Good. And we have written our test. Okay, good. So maybe we'll get rid of this and just, okay, we need hidden because this, okay, now let's hit, and yeah, and we can see that it's doing its thing. So let's do a bit more complicated ones. And then this, instead of an example, we can write it as a code test. We can write it as a test, which will get compiled as code. So again, this returns true, good. Here we do something understandable and quickly. Okay, whatever this is, let's just copy it. Okay, true, good. So this all works. If I run it, you can see here that there is nothing. But if I go to, then it would, yeah, screw up. Maybe 5. Okay, so you can see that this fails. So yes, this is runnable code that I can then compile into documentation. Like this. Yes, so what else can I show you? Not much. That is it. So what, like, I'll just recap. I've gone through the lucid.unit. I've gone through publish. Oh yeah, let's talk about templates. So you can kind of add your own data by just going into your template and saying blah my data, or hello world. So then you can go into your template here. Instead of title, we put blah. And let's publish it again. And you can see here that the title's changed. And what I usually do is I usually put live reload on. So we'll have to put the data, where is it? Yeah, here. Tracks, docs, so let's choose the folder. Yeah, okay, done. And we can connect to that. And say, let's create another chapter, title, more usages. So every time we, oh yeah, it's a double vector. Okay, and every time there's one more cool thing actually. So you can use API to let's say namespace tracks.call and let's call this API instead. So if I put publish, you can see here that it generates like an API thing. If I had more tests, then it will do more. But what then we can do is we can link this into our menu, and you can see that if we move to the menu, it would go in here. And also, if we only wanted keys into and tracks, oops, we can only just generate the API that we want. So, track, and it's track. You can see here that it gives a bit of a warning when that happens. So yeah. Track. Track. Okay. There you go. And you know, like there's many ways of customizing this page. So if I put in, for example, if I did hello, let's just say I did the same input, and instead of publishing index, I publish hello. You can see here that if I have to publish index as well, just to regenerate it. So now there's a new link called tracks, which goes to hello. It doesn't quite make sense, but yeah, it's because, let's try this again. Hello title is hello, and we can put more files in here. Tracks. Tracks. So now if we go back and publish index, you can see that there's two files now, tracks and hello. And we can keep going. Publish hello. So if we go to hello, yeah. So this is how we can generate a site very easily based on just CLJ files and understanding what to do with our project.clj. So yeah, thanks guys for watching.